My family have been coming out to the Rangitata for 3 generations. We've got a batch down at the Rangitata mouth. My children come out regularly and now my grandchildren are coming out. So we've had an association with the river, mainly fishing, but just enjoying the scenery and enjoying the environment out here for quite a number of years now. In 2005, that's when we first started here. It was the time when the salmon runs in the central South Island were actually declining quite markedly. And a group of anglers thought, well, we need to do something. This was a commercial hatchery. It had been abandoned and it was a bit of a mess when we came out here. We got it up and running, got a whole lot of volunteers to help us and ended up with what you can see now, fully fledged hatchery. McKinnon's Creek runs into the Rangitata, and on McKinnon's Creek we trap a few wild salmon that come back to this creek. We remove the eggs from the female fish and we fertilise them with the milk from the males, and in the shed over there we incubate the fish and grow them out. We keep them here for about 12 months before we release them back into the river. It's quite a big operation. The Pacific salmon, or Chinook salmon if you like, that's the ones that come into the Rangitata, they have a life cycle of about 3 years. So from spawning in the headwaters, 3 years later they come back to that same creek. But it's a wee bit different here because we only keep them for 1 year, let them go, and they go to sea for 2 years. On their 3rd year they come back to the hatchery and the process is repeated. If they can, they'll always come back, and they'll come back to the very stream where they were born, if you like. We work on around about 1%. But we're releasing 90,000 fish this year. We would expect around about 900 to come back to the river mouth. We've got a big group of volunteers that help out every weekend and during the week. But we also work with Central South Island Fish and Game, Regional Council, iwi, DOC. We have relationships with all those groups. We have teams coming out on the weekend. They clean the raceways out, they make sure the feeders are all topped up. They just check the general health of the fish and report any irregularities, so there's quite a bit of work for them. We'd be happy to accept anybody to help. It's interesting work and it may lead on to a career for somebody, for a young person in aquaculture, because we do the same thing here as what they do at all the commercial hatcheries. Well, actually our goals for the hatchery are to close it down, because we're hoping that the new fish screens going on the river, on the irrigation intakes, the wild run will eventually come back to what it was and there'll be no need for a hatchery. But until that time, we'll continue providing fish for anglers to catch in the river.